Good afternoon. I had the opportunity to film Madonna when she came to Traverse City, Michigan, and she was introducing her new film called Malawi. And after the movie, I interviewed Director Nathan Rissman, who filmed her movie, and on that day of August 2nd, 2008.
Do you have any comment on seeing Madonna?
Actually, I wasn't even planning on seeing Madonna, but I've got a daughter here.
Today, but I didn't really.
We won't take it that far.
What was awesome?
Seeing Madonna.
Yeah, would you have anything to say?
It was awesome. I didn't think we'd be able to see her. We just got down here, found a good spot, and got a picture. She looked great.
It was great.
It was sweet.
I think she looks very pretty.
It was exciting with all the people out here. It was very interesting to be out here in Traverse City, and a lot of excitement. This is just wonderful. It's fabulous to be here and to be a part of this.
Karen, any comment?
Yeah, it's surreal. That's awesome. She's an icon. Yeah.
She's really real.
She really is.
I was trying to see her. I couldn't see her, so missing.
Yeah, Madonna actually came out. She seemed pretty awesome to me. She looked like she was in great shape. She looks pretty young, as I can say.
Well, you should know about being in shape, Mr.
Fine
You like
shape.
to fine shape, Mr. Pig?
I'm in fine shape myself.
Banana racks.
These were like all my Madonna glasses. I've been a fan since the 80s, and she's just an awesome performer. She entertains the deaf as well as the blind.
A little country called Malawi, and Madonna realized that if she was going to help this particular country, she really wanted to share that burden of extreme poverty visually through a film, and that's where I came into play, so she asked me to do it.
Now, you filmed this over a period of, what, 2 years?
2 years, correct.
Would you say, which takes prominence? Is it more of a cultural problem, or is it more of an organizational problem, or is it just a combination, a mix of both?
I think when it comes to filmmaking, if there are a few cultural problems, and I think being such an anomaly on the village level myself with the camera that it was hard to quite often get that true human suffering because they don't want to show it to you. And I think that's something that most human beings would share. Nobody wants to air their dirty laundry or show you their real suffering. So a lot of times when I would go into villages throughout Malawi, they would celebrate and show me all the good things and really just promote the village, which is really wonderful. But when you're really trying to seek out the true suffering and find where people really need help, it gets covered up.
For what's being spent, like in Iraq, for our troops, what is it, like $12 billion a month or something?
Right.
What would $12 billion do for a country that size?
I mean, I can't. It's a mind-blowing number for such a small country like Malawi. It would change drastically the face of extreme poverty. I spoke to Jeffrey Sachs about this, and I think that basically when all the countries came together and said, right, we need to really tackle extreme poverty, and they decided that each country, based upon how much money they had, would start to make payments to really start to tackle extreme poverty. The United States didn't even make the first payment. The only countries that have really kept up with it are, the Scandinavian countries. France has done pretty well.
Holland?
Yeah, Holland as well. But I don't know if I think there's an attitude or a stigma about Africa, about sub-Saharan Africa and poverty and people not willing to change. And there's donor fatigue. We've been giving, we've been hearing, we've seen the infomercials, we've seen extreme poverty in Africa, throughout my life. I've seen it up and down and left and right, and it gets tiresome at certain times. And I think Jeffrey Sachs is such an expert, and he's the guy that really is out there kicking everybody in the pants, saying everyone is tired of donating, but we have to. The only way that we're going to turn the situation around in sub-Saharan Africa is, or anywhere in the world, is by continuing donations, continuing, financial aid for these places. They need a leg up. Oh, it's an interesting connection and working relationship creatively that Madonna and I have. And basically, I went to Africa. I went to Malawi about 10 times over the course of 2 years. And the first 5 times was a lot of research, finding different kids' stories. I mean, there's 300 hours of footage that you didn't see.
Oh, yeah.
And and after Madonna and I creatively looked over this footage, you know, I showed her, educated her on all the different kids that I was meeting, filming. I think she really developed an opinion about that, and so she went to Malawi, and when she was there, she kept a journal, and she wrote in this journal every day how she felt, what she was seeing, different emotions, and she kept this journal. And it really became the script, because she decided in the end that one of the most important things that she could add to this film was to really hold people's hand and let them take this journey with her. So I think that that personal storytelling style that you hear from her, it was most definitely created after she went to Africa, after she was emotionally challenged by so many different aspects of Malawi. And Michael Moore was one of the people who really brought that out and said, you know, you need to take people on this journey. If you're going to ask them to sit as a community and watch this, then you need to take them on a journey. You need to hold their hand. You need to share those emotions with them. And she really listened to that.
One last question. With all of the imagery that you shot, being behind the camera, can you share one of the most prominent emotional moments that affected you while shooting this film?
Yeah, it's hard to define that one moment of, you know, that was so emotional for me being behind the camera. But I think that when I look back on it, there was a young boy that died, and his mother, Joyce, was she and I became friends, and she really wanted me to be at the funeral, me to film. She was most accommodating to sharing her story of the suffering. And I had my camera and my headphones on, and I was in digital world, and I stopped to take a break and took my headphones off and kind of looked around and was instantly overwhelmed by the human emotion that was happening when they were burying this young child. And it really got to me. I was overwhelmed. I just thought, this is too much. It's really difficult to be sharing this burden of death with this woman who I've become friends with. I think that was that one moment where, you know, I felt really, really sad for this poor woman who just lost her son, and was letting me be part of that.